I hope this doesn't click off again because I'm trying to make the video and the phone wants to install update and I don't want to. You should have the choice if you don't want to, because every time things get updated, the whole page, everything changes, and I barely know how to use it now. So I was just doing a video, and the update came up and took the video off after a whole bunch of minutes. So, hello guys. It is Wednesday, and I'm sorry it took a couple days, but it's just been so hectic. The weekend at Amber's was really good and relaxing and special and fun. Like I said, we used to do it all the time just to get away and have family time and relax and catch up until I was traumatized with the whole house being redone by the people Don would have sleeping on my couch every time I came back. So that was really good and calming and fun, and you guys get to meet the babies. Charlie is just like the Annabelle, and they look so much alike. It's amazing. It's like a clone. So that was fun. And then Monday, I spent all day excuse me, doing different resumes and reading different ones, updating it, trying to make it better, and sending them out, and looking for jobs, and responding to emails about that, and just a million things. So I was all day on the phone. I sat here with the charger all day. And then Tuesday, I got excited because I woke up and the first thing that came up was from ZipRecruiter that the post office on the corner right next to the school was hiring for a clerk. And I was like, that would be perfect. Really just perfect. So I clicked on it, and then it took me straight to a registration. You need to get this registration packet, and it was a packet that I'm sorry, I just feel like something stuck there. It was a packet that tells you everything, that they expect, what they do, the laws, and each job, because there's a million jobs in the United States Post Office, and what all those jobs entail, what they're looking for, all those kinds of things. And then it came with practice tests for each job, depending on what you're going to pick. And they were saying jobs go up every single day. You need to stay on top of it. Just keep looking. And they just go on by the minute all day long, every day. So I was like, all right, you had to pay $48 to get the packet. And then if you don't get hired, they refund you double, $92. So at first I was like, I can't spend that money on the packet. And then I was like, but it's worth it then if they refund double what you're getting. So I was like, it's a win-win. If I get hired, it's perfect. And if I don't, you get the money back times 2. So I was like, all right. So I paid for that, and I spent hours reading the registration. Hours. This is pages and pages and pages. And then taking the practice test and, writing the practice test down, the numbers, what I had, A, B, 12, 1, 2, 6. I did all the practice tests for hours. So then I'm done. I'm ready to apply. I go back to that site. I click on it. Yeah, here. This was half of it. Like all what to check my answers, because at the end it told you what the answers were, or answers that were best that they would expect on like certain types of questions. So I do that, and I go back to the site, and I go through it all, and I click apply, which then takes me obviously to a different page, which is the application. So I fill out the application, and at the end of the application it says, and I really didn't look, but like in my peripheral vision I was seeing the post office stuff in the corners, and I just wasn't thinking that I needed to check, because you clicked on the postal office hiring thing, and think it takes you right to that site then, and then you hit apply, you think you're still on the site. So then it says to pay $69 to send the application and make sure it goes out and everything. And that was just a deposit that would be refunded completely. It's just a deposit, they send it. So I'm like, okay, so I do that. I'm just figuring this is state, federal stuff, whatever. So I do that. And then afterwards, I get an email confirming it all, and I see that it's Postal Jobs. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I click back, and it's not the USPS.com website anymore. The packet was, but then this deposit thing is apparently on another site where they're sending your application for you. So I wrote down the numbers because I didn't have time today, but I want my money back. The packet thing I think is real because though it was a different site, it was legit, and it was very helpful to apply and practice for a test anyway for it. But I would not have paid that if it's not refunding me back the money if I don't get hired. So I'm going to stay on top of that. And then the money for the application on the other job that was supposed to be a deposit refunded, if that's not done within like the day or two, I am going to be on the phone screaming and yelling, and then with the bank. I'm so new to just using things like that, and I usually would never put my card or information on anything. I always check, and I've even Googled to see if sites are safe and legit before I've done things, because I'm very careful with that. But because it was the United States Post Office job apply at first that I did click on, I don't know why it then took me to two different sites. I just thought the page just kept changing on the same website because it was apply, register, done, confirm, and the pages change like normal. So I don't know now if I was ripped off with all this money or if it's going to be returned. So please hope and pray for me that that is legit and it will be returned if I don't get hired. Hopefully I do. Or the deposit one, because after I started applying and was on the back to the U.S. Post Office site clicking in jobs, the job was gone. So I don't know if they filled it that quickly, but then I kept typing in the same job to see, if it's open, and it was telling different states and areas where it was. Some things are just way too far because there's no car and no way to do that with a bus, but they were changing as I was just looking at it. So maybe it was filled, but that would have been perfect. Or I was just completely scammed. So that was upsetting. I was so excited too. I was like, that job would be perfect. And to hurry up and read and do it right and then apply to be able to answer the questions and respond quickly.
Seems like such a waste.
I hate the internet. I really do. So there was that, and then a friend of mine dropped off grapes and bananas after I got Vanna from school, and then he's just an older gentleman, a friend of Don's, friends that we all have known for years, and he took us to Zach's to get burgers and hot dogs for the baby and ice cream, and that was nice of him. Today, he came by this morning because the guy that he's wanted to buy the building, the deli, for a long time. First he wanted to open a shop up there and keep me there and buy the building, but now Tony's already there and everything, so he can't do that. It's already going, but he still was always interested in buying the building because of the apartment upstairs, and then just the building. He wants the building. He always wanted the building. So I let They called and said, we're out front of the deli, can you do this? You know how old Italian mobbed up guys they are. They're pushy. They won't let it go until it's done. So he was like, I'm going to see the building. Annabelle, how did you just come through the back door? Did I do that this morning? Shoot, because I could have sworn when we came in with Grandma, I seen that ashtray there, and I said, I don't remember leaving that ashtray there. I thought someone might have been in the house. So the back door was unlocked again. That's why I told you it's off limits, because when we're running around at night and rushing and you're not listening or helping, like even putting your own jammies on, I can't think every night, is the back door open when we don't even use it to double check the locks. Most nights I do, but some nights it's just doesn't even cross my mind because I forget there even is a back door because we don't use it, honey. That's dangerous. Any old buddy could be coming in here. I'm scared because of how these people are around me. Jane, in the beginning, Jane said it, that someone was going to plant drugs in my house to take the kid away from me. And then before that, Jimmy was saying that Don's brother-in-law, that someone was going to do that, he heard, or to be careful because someone could do that, which was an odd thing to say. And then, because he was fixing my doorknob, and then he was also implying that she would have done it because of how he was like, she's out to get you in the worst way, like in the beginning. And he was warning me, saying she's the type you'll never see coming because of things like that. So I don't let anybody in the house except kids, but that's why I'm very careful with the windows and the doors. But that door is off limits. I'll have to see if they came through the back door. I won't know. The front door was definitely locked, so there's no point in even checking the cameras. I don't see anything else that seemed to be moved, but I could have sworn I don't move that ashtray unless I was on the phone. The ashtray, it was over there when we walked in the door. It was the first thing I noticed. Great. So, where'd I leave off? Okay, so he was outside of the deli, and you know they're my friends and stuff. So I wanted to show the building. I let them see around and stuff. You know, they don't usually go through with those types of things, but they wanted to see it. And he's got another place in Philly, so you never know, he might. But I was just like, here, let's look at it then. Because every time he wanted to look at it before, I was never there when they'd show up or happen to be there during those hours, and this and that. So I did that this morning, and then Mom picked me up. We were supposed to be grocery shopping because the card money went on, and instead we were supposed to go to, there's a job center next door to the Goodwill that we were at last week. So we were supposed to go there, but then of course Mom heads on into the Goodwill, and we're in there for a long time, and then there was this little love seat and a big huge couch, the same size as this one, and then the big huge love seat. But even before Don passed away, we were looking for a love seat to put over here because this room's so small. And she's like, well, now you can't do anything because you have the black recliner. She's stuck on this black recliner. And she's like, it's not going to match this and that. And I'm like, it doesn't need to match. I'm like, I could get a purple love seat and it would still look good with the black recliner. And I was like, it was never going to match, Mom, because I was always going to get a black recliner. Like I said, my dream is to have the big decked out ones that do everything, you know, the really cool ones. But even before that, years, I was trying to get Don just to get 2 lazy boy recliners, you know, like Joey and Chandler. You know, it's laid back, cool thing. So there was always at least going to be one recliner, always. So it was never supposed to match, and things are different nowadays. People don't put their furniture flat up against the walls. They twist it, they turn it so you can walk around it in the middle of the room. But she hates that. It's the whole 70s. The furniture's got to be up against the walls in every room, and it's got to have a coffee table and an end table and this. And I'm like, things are a little different. They're made different. They look different. So it's a love seat. She wanted me to get both. I'm like, Mom, then we're back where I started with we're just replacing the exact same couch with a new one, same color and everything, but now we're adding a big huge love seat that's going to take up the little more space that I even have here with the recliner. And I was like, and then where's the recliner supposed to go? Well, I told you not to get that one. I don't know what her problem is with it. She kept bringing it up, and I'm like, it's a black recliner. What is wrong with it? It's just a black, not real leather, but it's soft too. I guess I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel like pleather. It's soft, but it looks like leather. And then it's got the cute gray cushion in the middle that makes it really comfy. This little strip. I love it. I think it looks perfect. So I want eventually, when I have the money, I want a black, like, love seat, maybe silver feet, something like that. So it will match, but for now, any color love seat will do, because this has to get it out of the house. Don had this kitten. He insisted that Vanna could keep early fall, and I was like, we already have too many cats, and then he wouldn't fix it. It's a whole issue. I want this couch out of here. So she agreed to get the love seat, and it was already only $14, so then it was the 40% discount. I think it came to like 8 something. So you cannot beat that for that. I was just like, oh, thank you. Okay, let's move on from it. Was not. And then when I was telling her how eventually I'm getting the decked out recliner, it was all, why? That's for medical, when they lift you up and stuff. And I'm like, I am medical. I can barely lift myself up off of this recliner because of the scoliosis. But also, no, it's not. It's meant for relaxation. They had the recliner there that I've been dying for my entire life, and it was $124 though. It was loaded aground, suede. It had the back with the rolls that go down like the mall, and did everything with the remote and a big huge screen in it. But it also had the foot things that you put your feet in, where there's those shapes, and it massages the legs, and that went with it. I was dying for that. If it's still there tomorrow, I just might borrow money from someone. I cannot believe it's there, and I'm just like, well, this is what I've been dreaming of. It would be so nice, because the calves are hurting all the time, and my back is dying. I'm literally dying to have like a chiropractor or some kind of massage chair that rolls on the spine like that. I just, oh God, I kill for it. So that's not bad for that, because that's thousands of dollars. I couldn't believe it was there. So after we were done with the Goodwill, we went next door to the Goodwill guy, and my resume is done very good. I have no gaps in the work history. Everything's explained, the skills, what I've done, where it was, the addresses, the numbers. And the introduction. And I've gotten a lot of calls. I had an interview on the phone at 1 o'clock for a place down the street, a home remodeling place, and he and I had a very good conversation. So he seemed nice and hopeful, and it went good. So he said he'd send me an email within the next few days talking about what the job is, and I think that means, if I want to do it or not. Let me look at something she made for me. 1 second. Oh, pretty. Oh, thank you. I seen that on your homework, your schoolwork today too. Thank you. I love you. You're the best daughter in the whole wide world.
Mommy, can you make me
Try it.
Can you make me
Sure. No, no problem.
cake?
I knew you were going to ask for the cupcakes. I don't think we can do that tonight, but I can do it while you're at school tomorrow.
That was my.
I got there. It was $2. It's a machine that like a waffle maker kind of thing where you lift it up and you put the cakes in there and it makes cupcakes. And we eat muffins all the time, so I have the cupcake and a muffin mix from the shop when I had to take the food out of there. So I have all that. So she asks for cake all the time, and the oven isn't working here for some reason. Something happened and I need someone to look at it, but it's not working. So I was using the oven at the shop, and now they're messing with the electric. So I've been just using the stove top, not the actual oven part. But we also have one of those ovens that what's that new thing? Air fries stuff and cooks things like in half the time. It's an expensive big thing Don got last year. It's in there. We use that too.
It's like a different house.
So
Yeah, it's different.
my resume's good, and I've had a couple interviews, and they've gone well. Just in the past 2 days. So I'm waiting to hear back. And this guy was pretty negative. He was like, "We're gonna have to redo the entire resume from the ground up, and just this, and that." He was in. Obviously, I'm going to go back and do it. We scheduled an appointment for a week from now, but I just think my resume is a little more personable, like my personality, and friendly, and saying, how and why I know the skills I know and what it's been, and, from childhood to now. And people have been responding good to that, I think. To the jobs that every job I applied for, I got an interview call back or something. Except for like things that I guess that I don't have the skills for, because like I said, I'm just applying for anything. So
And then you ran and you told Tim.
but I'm gonna do it.
Didn't you?
But he was pretty negative about that, and then we ran out of time because we had to go pick up Vanna because Mom was in Goodwill's and getting everything.
That question is unimaginable.
But I don't know what she would need certain things for.
Things have been so bizarre. I don't even know what's real anymore.
So that is what
All I know is that I need
today was, and tomorrow we are going to the employment office. An employment office she googled to do that.
Again, let me stress, this is informal. It's not a trial, it's a hearing. All that will be determined is if there's probable cause for the trial. We're going to
I
show
don't
this.
know. I like
Prosecution will state their case, then I will
my
answer.
resume.
Then, if the judge wishes, Kate will talk.
I think it stands out too because it's not
If the judge
just
feels that there's insufficient evidence to
hello,
take
my
this to
name
trial,
is, and
rights to free man, we will know today.
if I were a color, it'd be orange, and my weaknesses are this, my strengths are this. I do have my weaknesses and strengths.
I don't think there's anything
Um,
Ann didn't talk to me.
If I was a shape, I would be a triangle,
No,
and
with Ann, I mean, we were like sisters, but
these are my work
I see,
skills.
I know,
Boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
we spent a lot of time together.
You
as
know,
couples. We
I
vacationed
explain it
together.
a little more. Not
Mike
the
didn't do
shapes or
this.
colors, but
He loved Ann very much.
those
He
are
loved his
some of the
family.
questions sometimes,
Nothing.
and it's like,
I
well,
never heard or saw anything to indicate otherwise. Never.
I think it'd be like a hexagon. Is that a word? What's the stop sign with all the different corners? I want to say octagon. No, it's a
You're a
hexagon.
free man.
Well, I guess I
We
should know my
established
shapes
the right
first.
This doesn't
So,
matter.
things have been
There's some
alright,
big
like,
kids still out there.
life-wise,
It wasn't like talking to a judge, was it? It was like he was just
and trying to get things done. It's just a matter of things getting done.
What do you mean?
I mean, he can lie with a perfect.
Oh my gosh, I went to open the kitchen window today. For a year, it's been a problem. You have to, it's like they don't shut right at the top, so you got to force them in. And these are all brand new put-in windows before we moved in here. And it's like they're not right, or it's not angled, or the things wasn't measured right. So you got to make sure it clicks at the top. or when you go to push the window up, the whole thing will fly down flat, down off, almost hitting you in the face.
You let me go in there.
So, of course, it did that this morning, and I usually catch it, but I wasn't expecting it. And I have a small kitchen TV on the table that's behind me where I cook, and that window come crashing out and banged on the TV and busted. And thank God it was only the front and not the second panel that's in it, or I'd have no window and just a screen for people to come in and kill me in the middle of the night.
Whoa, how'd you get your teeth
And I'm just like, and he wants 200 and something thousand for this house, and nothing's even done right. Like, seriously?
My toothpaste isn't
When I say done right, I'm referring to for what he's asking. If he was asking 100 grand or lower, then it would be done right. One coat of painting, the floor, the new plastic floor that's not even clicked in right. The lines are supposed to add up, so the guy just threw that together. The cheapest windows, put in the cheapest, shittiest way, things like that. That's what I mean by not done right. Drop ceilings, and they need to be fixed now, obviously, because of the roof leaking. He patched that up and fixed that, but obviously it needs a new roof too. It needs all new things. You could just lift these ceilings. There's like an attic up there, but you don't need it, and it's never being used, and it can't be used really. So you could actually lift these ceilings, and it would make the room look just bigger and be more comfortable and better, more lights, the little sconces in the ceiling type of thing. I mean, you could do a lot for this house. Then it would be worth two something. Not now. I could make this house beautiful. I really could. And a lot of profit in return. So, I hope I do get the job that I talked to with the guy today. It was Power Home Remodeling. And it is not too far, although I'd have to take a bus into a really, really bad Chester. It's in Chester, which scares me a lot. Because either way, you're going to be robbed or the unthinkable. Especially the way I look, unsuspected and naive, that's gonna be a bad situation. So I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of car situation quick, very quickly. I mean, I have the rent for the next month, and if I get the job, then hopefully that'll be great, because then I only need a little when the check comes in. So I think I need to come up with like maybe 1,000. I don't care what kind of car it is, what year it is, as long as it runs and passes inspection. Because if I'm getting these jobs in these types of areas, I mean, people aren't going to accept being tardy, and that's unprofessional. And I'm not an unprofessional person. So getting on buses and figuring that kind of stuff out, I'm scared to even take an Uber. I didn't do that for years because I'm scared of that. And then the Ubers are scared because it's one of the most dangerous jobs there is right now, being an Uber driver. So it's just not a good situation with carless. I cannot believe he didn't have a car for the first time in his life. Okay, so he gave me these. My mom got these papers while he was talking to me. So here's free career training, which we were talking about Monday and Tuesday too. And I do want to try and do schooling once I get a job for something, practical, just to have under my belt for an emergency, for future things or stuff. It's something I've learned going through all this. You need to have something you can say I can do and apply to those types of places quick and get a job. So for anyone that has time right now, if you have the time, if you're a wife at home like I was, I was offered school a couple times and wanted to do school. I just couldn't finish it or get there because of him. So if you can, I highly suggest you do something and do. And now that you can do things from home, it's great, especially for people with anxiety and stuff like me too. I would have to do something online, I think. So that's very. I really think that's something to do. And sometimes I wanted to do it, but was just procrastinated and didn't, and just didn't get to it. If I could from online, but not much was free, so, like as in a good way. So if you're able to access money a little and do it, I would start doing that now, because you just never know what tomorrow brings, and you do not want to be in these types of situations, especially if there's children involved. So just get something under your belt, even if it's something little. So I would like to do, there's a couple things on here for the free career training, and that's carpentry, certified nurse assistant, the CNA. That's what I was telling my mom I want to do, and she, of course, was like, no, don't do that, telling me all the stories. Every single time I tell her since I was 12 something I want to do, it's no. And then it's always, well, you need to do something, go to school something. Every time I say I want to do something, it's no. And negative response about it. But this is what the girl does that I was telling you that ended up being in high school. So there's that. So maybe I might do that with the certified nursing assistant thing then. Commercial driver's license, Class A. Computer network support. Electric trades. HVAC. Practical nursing. PN.
Lived here 35 years.
Plumbing and welding. My mom's telling me I should weld.
The construction company?
Or no, actually she's going really hard on plumbing, and she's been saying that. I don't know why. She wants me to do her plumbing in her house, that's why. So she has been pushing that since Monday, actually, a plumber. And I'm like, I hear horror stories from my friends and their husbands that are plumbers, that, you know, they're knee deep in like, because of the sub pumps that break, or flooding in the basements, and then the people yell at you and scream at you because they think you're going to clean it up and stuff, and just a million things, and it's a nightmare. And I'm just like, I can do carpentry, I can do contracting. I'd love to learn how to do all that type of stuff, because I know how to do a lot of that, like grounding and the tile and everything. Just, you know, people got to measure. But plumbing is a no. So I said, stop. No plumbing forever. No plumbing. Welding, my friend went to school for that. Walt. He did go for school for that in his free time while he was working part-time at one point. And he wanted to do it underwater too, because they get a lot of money. It never went anywhere. It couldn't get hired. I don't know why. That had to have been around like 2016 then, because it was before Vanna was born. Probably the year before her, she was born. So there's some things. And then there's classes for like how to use a computer. I know how to use a computer, but it's things like learn how to use Microsoft and then get a certificate. The hours and the time with the classes would be a little hard right now, since she's only off on certain days, and it's certain days, and Amber can't come down here all these certain days at these times. So again, it goes back to having a car and not having money to take a bus back and forth like that until I have a job. It says Goodwill's hiring. Why didn't he say that while we were there? Alright, so I'll go to this site tomorrow. Goodwill jobs. They're hiring. It's a lot of positions. She would love it if I worked there. She'd be there every day with that discount, on top of the employee discount. Lister, processor, shipper, I have no problem doing all these jobs. That would be fun for me because I love to look at stuff. So this is a good thing. I'll do that tomorrow morning. Why didn't he just say that? And put my resume in for a job today. That's what I thought we were going to do. Because it was the Goodwill Job Center. Alright,
Did you get this done?
I'll do that myself then because I want that for now then, because they're a couple, Pennsylvania and Delaware, and they're all very close, and I would I'd be interested in doing that for now. It's money to come in while I'm looking for other things in the deli is being built up, and that would make me happy. Like, I don't want to just do things too that are going to make me miserable. If it's certain jobs I don't like, it's like, all right, well, this isn't too good, but I got to do it. But if it's something I'm going to hate, being knee deep in plumbing, I'm not going to school for that and then doing that just to be miserable every single day of my life. No, thank you. From day one, I was always like, you need a job that makes you happy. And that would be a career. And that's what I'm pushing for. But I understand getting a job for situations like this. You need money quick. You need it. You need to do that. And then you do stuff in your free time to get to what you really want to do. That's going to make you happy. I'm not a good person to be put in a miserable situation day in and day out.
You threw that stuff out.
So I will do that tomorrow morning, and it's all about the phone right now, so I'm going to have to save the $100 to switch to Metro because I don't want to pay Comcast, so they're going to turn that off. So I got to switch that. And then it's just the jobs coming in, applying, doing that.
Tell me something. One thing that indicates that he killed
I'll
him.
look at the resume and fix that a little.
That flame in Chicago. Was it open next to him?
And then
Yes, that I know.
not much
I
else.
heard a message on the phone
I used
machine.
the last
She's
of
flying
the
in.
$1 of my Cash
Still
App,
seeing her, Tim.
You know this
and
for sure.
I have
heard a
$100
message today.
saved in cash. And then just the rent in the bank account. I hope they give me that money back on both of those things, because I only did that because I thought it was necessary and a win-win situation.
Hi, Kate. Hi, honey.
Alright, so I need to save for the phone right now, and I need to save for a car to get to these places. I do not want to take a bus into Chester. That's very scary. Very scary.
Just took me back.
There's so many things
I understand.
online and stuff,
Don't worry about
and
it.
I know a lot of people that sell
Hey.
cars, and they sell them cheap enough.
How was that line?
I just need it to be able to pass inspection, obviously, to be legal on the road. Other than that, I don't care if it's a friggin'
I'll see you in a second.
89 Buick. I actually like older cars like that. I do. I've been looking for an 87 Black Monte Carlo for like 10 years now. Or those Jeeps that were really... Yeah, Girl Cat. Those Jeeps that were really popular in like 94, 93, 94. They had that little, almost a lightning bolt mark on the side, and they were usually like a teal. They kept flipping over. People were getting killed and stuff. Remember, they were flipping over, and they had the plastic lining that could go over top of it. They were really cool colors, though, like light purple and like a foam green. Remember those?
I just want justice for
I
the
think
ones
they were
who killed
Astro.
yourself.
I want to say Astro or something similar to that. They were cool. Had our neighbor down the road in that house we lived in, Heather's best friend Wendy, and their parents that lived next door to us, they got her one of those for her 16th birthday. I remember my mom being so worried it was going to flip. So maybe they weren't flipping, and it was just my mother and her constant paranoia about everything in life.
This place is perfect.
Alright guys, Well, I just wanted to definitely update with you today. I love you all. Last I checked, the comments was on Sunday, so if there's any more, I'll get to them.
I could improve my low score by 21
It's just really busy.
in maybe just 4
And
days. Nice.
my mom was calling me a mean girl again today, but she just nags. And anything you talk about, it just goes right back to her. It's about her, what's going on, what she wants to get, what she wants to look at in the store, and then when she's done, it's time to go, or let's do this, and you didn't even get a chance to look at anything because you're helping her the whole time doing something. There's a word for it. It's a diagnosis. Not selfish. It's something else. And then it's turned around to you. Well, what are you being mean for? I literally want to say F you to you right now because you're rolling your eyes. And I'm like, because you're not listening and you're being very dramatic about something very simple. You're not even helping. I'm trying to do something and the pictures are falling over that could break and we'd have to pay for because you're just standing there and watching me while I'm trying to do something for you. And then the couch discussion, and it was a lot of little things. She said something to me after we dropped the stuff off. I don't know what she was going to say, but I was saying what I'm saying right now about her to her because I was defending myself and why I was acting, and she's not getting how she's acting. And I'm just like, you're nagging and you're like a dog that just is at you. And nitpicking. It's nitpicking and nagging. And I was like, I thought you've gotten better at this. I think this is something you have to work on. And I'm trying to say it politely so that she knows that this is something she needs to work on. Or how will she ever get married again and have a fulfilled, happy life? And she didn't hear me because she never hears anything I'm saying all day. At one point, I was just looking right at her when we're in a job center, filling out the signing sheet, saying, what should I write under company? And she's looking at her wallet, doing this, and I'm like, what should I write under company? And I'm looking right at her, and she's still not hearing and looking at her phone now. So I'm like, smiling at this point, saying, what should I write at company? Because the woman sitting there, the old lady that was sitting there, is watching me, because no one else is in here, it's dead silent. And looking at her, and seeing that I'm laughing as I'm saying it, saying, look, she's not hearing anything. And it's dead silent in there. This is what she does all day long in the car when you're telling her to turn or you're telling your story, and then she doesn't hear parts of it, and days later it's, what? You never told me that. Who's that guy? Well, you never told me that. When's that happening? And it's like, no, I told you. You just didn't hear. So she finally turns around and the woman says, you don't have to write anything under company. But she looks at me and she laughs, and Mom's like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Nothing. So that is what goes on all day long as well. And then it's niggy naggies because she didn't hear or any part of anything you said, and then she's like, well, what do you have to do that for? And it's like, oh my God, I told you already twice today in the car. So, I don't know what she was about to say, but she said, were you acting this way before he died? And I put whatever I was holding down, and I turned around and said, sometimes, because you want to know why? I said, sometimes I would have to stop him and scream, okay, Dottie. And he would laugh, knowing that he was being naggy asshole then. And he would say, well, am I acting like your mom? And then stop whatever he was doing. And I would be like, yeah, you're nonstop on something just to belittle me and criticize and judge and poke and make fun and repeat yourself. And it's not nice. And she doesn't realize she does it. And then if you tell her she's doing something, she won't accept the answer. It's that stubborn mentality where it's not her, it's everybody else. And I'm trying to help her by bringing this to her attention. I want her to work on it. I try to say it nicely in text, saying, well, I do that too sometimes, you know, and Amber says you're not listening, or it's my, you know, and I stop and I try to be aware and I work on it, because I don't want to be like that at all. But she doesn't think she's doing anything. She's just like, it's everybody else, so she's not going to work on it. And I tell her that because I love her and I want her to be happy, and I know she's lonely, but no one's going to put up with on their, especially men, all day long, like a monkey on the back.
I'd like to be happy, but...
And she's a really fun, cool person, so she could have a lot of fun and be happy with someone again.
I think I'm just more relieved that this man has been stopped.
But that's always been a problem, too.
I'd like to make a toast.
Um...
The police department, who I did doubt.
Alright, so I have to get ready for bed. It's late. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I hope everyone had a good weekend and a good week so far. It is hump day then. Humperoo. No. That was... I didn't think. I guess the guy's not painting the top of the porch. On Friday, he only painted around it and the railing, and then left everything on the porch the way it was. So I left it there because I thought he was coming back to finish the rest of the porch. Well, I haven't seen him or heard from him. So then I was thinking maybe he got paid and took off and did what they do, and he'll be sobering up coming back. And still haven't heard from him. So then today it occurred to me, maybe he's not painting the top of it, only painted around it for show.
You're right.
So if he is, he's gonna have to power wash it again, because she just used sidewalk chalk and stuff. And what am I supposed to do? Tell the kids you can't play on the porch for weeks because you didn't show up?
All of a sudden, the fixes.
So now I just think they're not doing anything. So I'm gonna plant my flowers and move on with life. That was supposed to be done 2 weeks ago, actually. So he did a really good job. It looks nice around the side, and the railing looks nice and bright and fresh, and it looks new. But I did think he was doing the top part with the same paint.
Pretty much a jerk.
I don't know. He didn't leave a note or try to tell me that he's coming back, or he ran out of paint, or he has got to wait for the landlord to give him money to give him new paint. I don't know. So I'm just going to do what we usually do. It's not my fault. I can help him power wash if you want to get it done quicker. But I waited and waited and waited.
Hell, maybe we should anyway.
Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow. I should have time tomorrow.
What?
I'm trying to think because it's been a few days and I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's it. Please share my GoFundMe page. And the lesson today is to do some schooling to get something under your belt, just in case, rainy day, if you're at home or have time, even if you do work and stuff, if you have the time and energy. It's always good to learn something new anyway, and have some stuff in your backpack, you know? Thank you for subscribing and sharing again, and have a good Thursday. You're over the hump. We're almost there. Again, God, time flies. I cannot believe it's almost Friday already. I feel like I was just like, it's Friday, we're leaving for the weekend. She's almost a kindergarten graduate. Graduation is soon. I'm so excited. She's so cute. Alright guys, bye.